I've felt so many moments of turning points of just, crossing the Rubicon, tipping point, leaping onto the razor's edge, whatever you want to call it. Over the past few years, it's dizzying, and the process of creation is the destruction phase. And it feels like getting sucked into a black hole because that's what's happening. There's physics behind what's actually happening. And the transition or suspension state is going through the black hole. And the only way to get through is to give up the baggage that's blocking you from going through. And then coming out the other side in a new state is the white hole, which is what's on the other side of a black hole. And we know this from physics and math. And Brian Mook and our group just wrote the equation for this about how to do it. And I never could have done that. And I know it. And I've been working on it for years, but I couldn't have scoped it out holographically like he did. And that's a turning point for me. The idea of arrival is an interesting concept I'm found, because the moment I stop struggling with whatever I'm struggling with, I arrive on I go through the black hole and I arrive on the other side and in a new state. And that's a quantum leap. And doing that almost every day is almost unimaginable, but that's what's happened. And the realization of, is it going to be like this for the rest of my life? And I think the answer is yes. And the idea of arrival now doesn't even make sense, because, yeah, I did. I arrived on the other side. And then I look up and I'm like, well, there's another black hole. Does this ever end? I think the answer is it does not. And then it becomes more important to think about, why does it matter? Who cares? And there's a country singer. Her name's Iris DeMent. She's brilliant. She's an incredible musician and real artist. And she wrote a song called Let the Mystery Be. And she grew up in the Bible Belt, obviously. And she's talking about all of the different versions of knowing the mystery. And the answer is, don't know. Embodying that is the work. And this can't be learned. It's embodied. And that's the point. And that's what Brian's equation is about. Our minds are not big enough. And ChatGPT helps us reflect on our mind. It helps us do more of what we already know how to do, connect with ourselves. We're using it that way to do this. And this is available to you as part of the Entrepreneur Content Machine, the Entrepreneur Marketplace, as well as the Entrepreneur Coaching Experience products on our campus. We're not going to teach you how ChatGPT works. We're going to do it because we already do it. We'll just do it with you. And it's incredible. It's self-reflective insight. However, and then it's also strategy. How do we make the business work? Here's how. You can screw it up. That's the point, the turning point. Disconnected from purpose, disconnected from what I'm talking about, which is personal acceleration, it's going to fail in the marketplace and inside, because it's disconnected from anything important. This is very, very significant moment for me to realize that in my body. Doesn't matter what my mind thinks. It's in my body that I know. And having an open emotional field to feel fully allows me to keep going through these black holes and feel okay about it. There's friction, yes. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying it's natural. It doesn't feel strange. It feels like my life, because it's so many years now of living this way. And we can use ChatGPT for the content machine, where the content isn't going to feel like ChatGPT content. And it's not about hiding it. It's saying, I used it. Now I use it and then I don't use it. I have some content I don't use it for. It will ruin the song. Think about art. I'm writing. It's a creative act in business. And then there's other creative acts, and there's other acts in business that aren't creative acts. They're communications acts. Experience sharing economy. How are we going to create an experience sharing economy if we can't put a lot of content out? And how am I going to be part of creating an experience sharing economy and leading the way in that with our group if I have not connected ChatGPT to my purpose? It won't work if it's not connected to purpose, vision, and creative intelligence. It is possible today to connect AI to creative intelligence. The AI doesn't do that. We do it. And it has to be different for each individual who uses it or it won't work. That's what we know now. And we know how to scale it and allow other people into this. And that was a big moment. And now most entrepreneurs are waiting for clarity, and they want clarity after they succeed. So they're starting with business traction. And I think it's fine. And I thought, oh, we got to shift that mentality. The answer is never shift mentality. That's actually doing a disservice to people. And a big part of the coaching experience, which we'll be talking about a lot, is 3 components for the coaching experience. And the shows about the coaching experience will be connected to those 3 components. And one component is Judy Kane's group, and that is about the happy coach. And she knows how to do it. And it's about helping the clients get a result. That's what makes a happy coach. Then you don't have to just take 1% or the top 4% that'll do the work. You can take anybody that resonates with it, where the timing is synchronicity, synchronous, as opposed to forcing it through marketing. You'll just know and they'll know. And then they'll get a result because you'll know how to get them a result. That's a big deal. And her group is going to support that. The second group in the coaching experience is Louisa and Ellie, and they're going to do a workshop together. And I can't even describe how cool it's going to be. And it's for coaches who don't want to be marketers or salespeople anymore or networkers, but they want to do those things as needed to build the practice. Coaching is about building a practice where you're so good, it's closed. It's like being the best dermatologist in town or psychiatrist. I'm like, I'll let you in if I have a recommendation from somebody, or maybe I'll scale it in a way where I can service more people. And we know how to do that too. We can help you scale your coaching business and integrate your products on our campus. And some of you won't have to pay for it because you've got the stuff and someone will do a partnership with you. If you don't, you're going to have to pay to learn, or you can get passive income. We have multiple models. Waiting for clarity doesn't lead to clarity. Liberation doesn't come from clarity. It doesn't work like that because clarity is in the thinking process. It's backwards, and it won't work. You can't think your way into clarity. We're all trying to do that. I spent my whole life trying to think my way into clarity with a whiteboard. It's not how it works. It comes from a decision. I don't give advice because it doesn't shift anything for anybody. It pushes you away from me. It pushes me away from you if I give you advice. And if it's about what I'm talking about is what actually shifts when you choose to stop betraying your freedom. When you put the brakes on yourself, you're betraying your liberation opportunity. As a entrepreneur, as a coach, as a business owner, these principles are timeless. And I didn't think what we did is possible. I knew it was going to happen and work, but I didn't think it was possible a lot of the time. I was betraying my own freedom. Why? How? Conforming. And I had to spend a couple of years talking about what was wrong, what wasn't working, how I was seeing things. I don't have to anymore. And that's the end of the Liberation Mechanics shows. Tomorrow will probably be the last one, if not this one. I haven't decided yet. And I'm going to move into the experience shows, the entrepreneur experience, the coaching experience, the trusted advisor experience, the retail experience, the entertainment experience. That's what this is. Amazon started with books. Um, you got to start somewhere. And then I realized we can do it all now because we're in synchronous harmony with each other. How do we get there? Personal acceleration together. And it's impossible to sell, describe, or market this. And that is the point. It's a new economy we're in, the experience sharing economy. And we're not creating the experience sharing economy. We're creating our own lives, each one of us within it. And what's next is the experience sharing economy. And it's come into the market already. That's how these things happen. Um, it's always worked this way. And we're opening our space, to explore how struggle gets encoded in your business structure and what it feels like when it finally breaks. Everything changes. And I'm not expecting you to go through black holes every day like I do, or other people. We do it every day. What do we start our day with? How are you? What's happening? What black hole are you going through right now? You're getting sucked by gravity into transformational change. Sometimes this takes people 10 years, 15 years, or they never do it. They hold on an entire lifetime trying to control outcomes and stay in these states of being trapped. Who's trapping you? You, me. I trapped myself for years. Why can't I have my real life? I was having it all along. John Lennon said that. Life's what happens when you're busy making other plans. Where was I making other plans? With my mind. My mind was making other plans. My mind's a tool for myself. It's not the self. And we know that now in our mainstream modern society. We know. That's a big deal. That's the big black swan, or it's part of it. And if you felt something building inside you, but if you haven't had language for it, this is your moment. This is your moment. And we have a platform for you. And you may feel home for the first time in your life, like I did. I never felt home. I always felt separated from myself and the society and the markets I was in. I have never not succeeded at anything in my entire life, ever. I've succeeded every time. And at the end, I feel like, that's it. What's next? Because I had to go to what's next because things changed and I had to start over again. Every time I started over again, I thought, this is going to be exciting. I don't want to do it. And then I did it. And then there was a moment of, I stopped struggling and I said, this is it. And I lived in that. I'm in the right thing. And then it would happen again. And I'm like, can I ever get a break? And I think the answer was no. You get to keep learning lessons. This is your life purpose. And it is. And I'm comfortable with it. And other people would look at me and say, that sounds horrible. I'm like, you're projecting onto me your own fear of what you see when someone completely embraces change and flow. And they're like, well, no, you're not flowing. Your business is failing. And I'm like, to you it is, because we're not. We don't, where's the social proof? Where's the metrics? Where's the KPIs? Where's the money? Where's the full campus? Why don't you have 100 people? Because it's not how it works. This is Entrepreneur 3.0. We're inventing, creating something new. And those models don't work anymore for us. And they do work for other people. And some people will be an Entrepreneur 2.0 or 1.0, and it's fine. And if you want to know what that is, I've talked enough about it. I don't need to talk about it anymore. I'm going to talk about Entrepreneur 3.0 and what it's like to be in it. And if you feel something building inside you, but you don't have language for it, this is your moment, and we're here for you. And I don't care what it means. If you're broke, if you're not broke, if you're wealthy, you don't know what to do with your money. We've got something for everybody. I'm not trying to take money out of people's pockets and put it in ours or mine. And I don't have to explain it anymore. And that's the white hole that I went through into. Why is it a white hole? Because there's another black hole on the other side. Will that be tomorrow? Probably. I would say every day I have a genetic update in my DNA code. And I can't do it by myself. I do it with the group. We meet every day. I meet with somebody in our group or talk to somebody in our group every day, and I know who to go to for different things. This could not have gotten to 100 grand a month or 1 million a month last week or when I thought it was in 2023. I was like, I thought I'm going to have 150 grand in one day, and I got zero. That was September 20th of 2023. I was surprised. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Success. And I published it on LinkedIn and I got condolences from people. And I've had people say, how'd your launch go? I said, good. How many people signed up? Nobody. Wait, what? When the moment you stopped struggling, and my struggle was needing the validation. Nah, I don't need validation. It wasn't validation. I needed to release impatience. That was my work yesterday. Releasing in this morning, release impatience and release what was the other one? These are traps. So I'm in the trap of impatience. Who put me in the trap? The crab trap. Human beings are like crabs. We're in crab traps. Who put me in the crab trap? Me. What happens in a crab trap? A crab tries to get out. The other crabs try to pull it back in. No, you can't go free. We're going to pull you back because you need to be like us. And that's not them doing it. Nobody did anything to me. The market didn't do this to me. The celebrity coaches and the stages and the popularity people didn't do this to me. I did it to me. And that's the work and the trap of impatience. This morning, I'm like, oh my God, my body just got patient. It just settled into patience. I saw impatience in me and I thought, this is the problem right now. And the minute I saw it, I went through the black hole again, and I'm on the other side right now. And there'll be another one. It's sucking me in right now, and I don't even know it. Doesn't matter because you can live in chaos because it's not chaotic. It's ordered, and order and flow is real life. That's deep. That's deep life. And I'm like, oh my God, this is incredible. I did not have language for this. And I've spent the last few years working on language. And then Brian wrote an article that put a math equation to it. And I think it's one of the most brilliant things I've ever seen. And I tried to write it almost 3 years ago, and I couldn't because my mind can't do it. But I was doing it. So what he explained and put language to, including a math equation in the body, I was doing for years, but I couldn't explain it to anybody. The isolation of that is profound. And the feeling of dislocation and disconnection from the society being in chaos. Those are the trap states. And I was in them for a few years and I allowed it. I tolerated it. You do not have to go as deep as me because you'll go where you go. That's the lesson for me is you don't need to be ready. Just be here. Join us. We welcome all of you. And I don't mean everybody in the world. I mean, we welcome all parts of who you are. You can bring anything here. And I've been in so many inner development groups that are like that, but I've never been in a business group that was really like that. But I've seen it come together. Personal acceleration and business traction. It's coming together all over the world. And what I felt in those groups was either there was no business traction because they didn't care about that, and it was separated. And I was told to separate this for marketing purposes, and I couldn't do it. When it was Solopreneur Inc., that was the advice I got. And luckily, I didn't take it. I just kept going. Personal acceleration leads to business traction. Business traction leads to personal acceleration, and you get in the middle. Which side do you start on? It doesn't matter. We'll help guide you through. You get your content game together, and then you find your stories, and then you use personal acceleration to deepen your stories and become a market authority. It could be that's for you. Maybe for you, you got the business traction and you're making 100 grand a month or $1 million a month, and you're just like, it's not working. People will look at you and say, why is, yeah, of course. Maybe it's family matters first. We'll start you there. Or maybe in one of the coaching personal acceleration groups. There's many ways to enter this. All roads lead to Mecca. All roads lead to Jerusalem. Your way. That's what's different about this. And we also have a platform for execution. And I haven't seen that integrated before. So if you're spending money on content, systems, assistance, all this stuff, that can go away with our systems. And you can integrate it with our systems if you don't want it to go away, but you can make it easier on yourself and cut expenses. So we call that the entrepreneur content machine and the entrepreneur marketplace. And those two approaches are still messy. And that's why I'm discounting all of our offerings, workshops, and the 12-month membership and the 90-day quick start won't be discounted because it's cheap, 90 days. And then the partnerships, it's about your ability. If you're going to be an ambassador, you already have to have some success there, but we're not measuring the size of your audience. Size doesn't matter. To some, it does. And then partner is passive income for you. But you have to be the right person, and you have to let us evaluate that over at least 7 days, if not 90 days. And we won't charge you for that if you're the right person. We have to evaluate it. Everybody in the group has to say they're ready for this, because I don't want a bunch of hucksters out there forcing people through sales techniques and tactics that are too aggressive or persuasive, because we're going to bring in the wrong people. They won't be ready. And they're going to be sitting in the rooms like, well, okay, get me a result now. No, we can help you figure out how to do it, though, and point you in the right places. But if you're going to come in because you got marketed and you accepted it and said, yeah, I'm going to do this, and then you come in with your arms crossed, show me so I can see if it works or not. My answer is you're going to have to uncross your arms and breathe. So I'm going to send you to Brian, Invincibility Dojo, or I'm going to send you to Louisa on Monday, or Judy for the head trash session, because you're going to have to go in the inner stuff first. Because on the business side, it's not going to work here. You're in the wrong place. You should go find a group that's going to teach you marketing or conventional networking or sales. Those are good skills. It's not what we're doing. We have a different approach to do all of those things. And it's based on what I'm saying. It's stop struggling. When you stop struggling, you start to get to clarity, but it's uncomfortable. You're going to have to tolerate uncomfortable. It's like going to the gym the first couple of weeks. It's uncomfortable. The problem is if you go to the wrong gym or you're doing things in a gym you can't stand doing, you'll stop doing them. That's the keep going doesn't work. That's why gyms don't work for most people, because 90% people drop out in February. By February, they're gone. That's accepted as normal. To me, that doesn't make any sense. They shouldn't take your money. Well, people finally said, no, you can't have my money. In other words, I'm not signing a 12-month contract for this. I'm going month to month because I know I'm not going to succeed at this. And then other people will say, well, you got to sign up for 12 months and then you'll succeed. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to. I do martial arts all day long. I don't even train in a dojo anymore. I just do it. And it's breath related, all of it, because that feels right for me. So I'm flabby. I lost 15 pounds. It's fine. And if I want to get, buns of steel or whatever, I'll go back to a dojo. Or I've never been in a real martial arts dojo. I was in an energy dojo with self-defense abilities. I learned all that years ago. I'm doing it for years. And, if I want to get in a cage with people and get tough on the outside, I can do that. I don't want to do it right now. If it's time to do it, I'll do it. That's the whole point. Timing matters. It's hard for me to figure out the timing because the visions are so big. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to change the world overnight. No, I'm not. I'm going to change myself one black hole at a time. For some people, they're never going to go through a black hole. They just don't want to. And I think they don't need to. Sometimes I meet people and they're just fine. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? You're just fine? That's bizarre. I see everything almost the reverse of the entire society. It's very lonely, but not anymore because I have my people around me every day. Um, and I'm married to somebody, luckily, who gets it too. My biggest teacher. Your spouse is your biggest teacher. If it's getting tough, don't quit. If they're the right person. If it doesn't feel like anything, you're with the wrong person. If you just don't care anymore, you're probably with the wrong person. You did the work with them and it's done. I don't know that. That's why we have Family Matters First. We don't tell anybody anything. There's no advice because how can I know? You have to know. And that's your job. That's my job. And I realized I'm in the right marriage. Number 3, got it right. Does it look right from the outside sometimes? No. People would be like, what are you? It's not going well, is it? I'm like, yeah, it's going great. How do you measure your success? You let other people measure your success, you won't be successful, no matter how much money you make. And if you make a ton of money and you want purpose, it works the same way. If you let other people measure your purpose, because you get a big award for your charitable work, um, you're still going to feel hollow inside. Now you can cover that up, but that's not how it works. It's backwards. And realizing that in this society, in this moment in time, is liberation because it's very difficult to get to that. And I think many people are there. They just don't know it. And that's the idea of, do you have words for this? This is your moment. You don't need to be ready. Just come and be here with us. Um, and how do you do that? Decide. People want to know, how's it going to work? And I'm like, I don't know yet. What's your sales process? Well, I'll show you the options. Um, any other sales process? Yeah, I'll tell you what I think you should do. I'll make a recommendation. And I'm going to use a system called, wait, what is it called? They're using it in medicine right now, in medical technology medicine, not healthcare medicine, which is preventative medicine. It's different, 2 different industries. Hopefully someday they'll come together and it'll be just medicine or healthcare. It'll just be called healthcare. Medical technology and the healthcare people will work together someday. Not yet. People are trying though. So the word is, it's not liberating structures. We're using that, but it's the other one. Relational inquiry. I'm not going to tell you what's wrong with you. Oh, you got an arrow in your forehead. It's not the arrow, stupid. Me being stupid in this case. It's not the arrow in the forehead. It's, can I help you figure out what your direction is? How? I'm gonna ask you some questions and I'm gonna give you some clarity in moments where I can tell you're ready to hear it. And my job is not to say things that you don't need or want to hear because it won't make any difference. That's what I didn't understand. Brian and I we've been working on this for a year. Why aren't we at 100 grand a month? Why aren't we at 200, a million a month? Because we weren't ready to be. To get relational inquiry liberating structures right in an environment, to get Entrepreneur 3.0 right using flexible founder mode with the whole group of Avengers, not misfits. Nobody in our group is on the island of lost toys anymore, but we've all been on it for years. All of us, every single person in this group has spent time on the island of lost toys, wondering what is wrong with me? With some sadistic kid playing in the room, and you're hoping, don't pick me. Who's the sadistic kid? It's a representation of the society. To me, again, that's how I see it. You see it differently. Does this give words to your seeing and noticing? That's my job because I can see it and I can give words to it. It's just part of how I am and how I think. It's part of my role. There's other people in our group who have different roles. That's the point of flexible founder mode. If I'm selfishly playing my role selflessly in terms of how I connect, I'm doing my job as part of the group. If I start to force things into the group, which I do all the time, I'm struggling again. What's my job?